Climb to 2,000 feet. Don't exceed 200 knots. Turn left to a heading of 200 and enter a downwind leg parallel to the carrier. On downwind, you should be level at 2,000 feet, flying at 200 knots. Stretching across the deck are 4 cables that the tailhook can hook onto. Slow down to 200 knots. Use the speed brake to slow down. Slow to 250 knots before lowering the gear. Don't flare on landing. Just fly the aircraft directly onto the deck in a tail low attitude. Don't let your descent rate exceed 700 feet per minute or you might damage the landing gear. Extend the gear. Lower the flaps 1 notch for the approach. Lower the tailhook by pressing Shift Q. Adjust power to maintain 170 knots. Make a 180-degree turn to the left and line up for landing. The landing signal officer will give you some guidance on if you need it. Wave off means you're not in position to land. Bolter means you missed the cables. In either case, add full thrust, go around and try again. If you trap a cable, the LSO will tell you which one and will announce that the deck is red, unsuitable for landing by other aircraft. Adjust power to maintain 170 knots. Remain above 1,000 feet until you're on a 2-mile final. Adjust power to maintain 150 knots. You're landing on the angled deck, so you need to be to the right of the carrier as you approach. The carrier is heading directly into the wind. To land on the angled deck, you need to compensate for the crosswind. You should be able to see the top of the deck throughout your approach. If you can't see the deck, you're too low. Lower full flaps and maintain 130 knots. Adjust power to maintain 130 knots. Slow to 130 knots for the final approach.
Move right. You're slow. You're fast. 355, 3/4 mile. Call the ball.
The ball is the yellow indicator on the visual landing system on the left side of the flight deck. If the ball is higher than the row of green lights, you're too high. If the ball is lower than the green lights, you're too low. If the ball is red, you're dangerously low.
Trap, 2-wire, red deck.
Great landing. Raise the tailhook to release from the cable. If you'd like to practice more carrier landings, try flying the Carrier Practice Mission.